Look at this. Are you like this too? Thinking that scraps just want to hang out together doing absolutely nothing but waste precious space? But did you know that they can hang out like this? Stick around and I'll show you why keeping scraps around might not be such a bad idea. Transition. Scene change. There was a time I couldn't afford nice wood, since wood is pretty expensive here in Alaska. I would buy scraps from people or cut-offs from our lumber store. I made my first diamond board from those scraps, which had a lot of sapwood. However, after posting on Instagram, people wanted it. The problem? I couldn't reproduce it. Months of going to the lumber store looking for the perfect ratio of sap to heartwood. I was just wasting my time looking. Then it dawned on me, when I was probably eating an 8-piece fried chicken and washing it down with 2 cups of rice, I think I can make my own diamonds. Hence the birth of these diamond boards. Scraps allowed me the flexibility to plan and play around with designs, even allowed me to mess up. Who knew? Now, they're a part of my top sellers collection. This is the part where you just go wild. Use whatever wood you want to make whatever colored diamonds your heart desires. I used maple, padauk, and purple heart. I don't do a very good job at gluing up, so I end up making my diamonds first. So I glue up my diamonds like this, then I cut them to size afterward. Okay, let's try this again because doing them individually sucks. Yeah, I didn't like that. So I'm gonna do all of them together. So I'm precisely marking holes at random so I can have clamps for the middle sections of the boards. My only advice? Go crazy on the clamps. Or just learn how to glue. And I just need to flatten this a little bit before I send them through my drum sander to clean it up a little bit. Perfect. This is where you want to trim your pieces down to the same height as your other non-diamond boards. Cut the bottom to where the smaller pieces make a diamond. I mark my boards before cutting for visual reference. Then rip the other side to match the height of the other boards.
Slap on some Marvin Gaye or Barry White, and you'll understand the intimacy of this moment. Oh yeah.
So I just took these out of the clamp, and most of the time I end up taking off as much glue off as I can after I clamp them because you get squeeze out. So I'll just take a silicone putty knife. Just take a putty knife and scrape it off, then take a wet rag and wipe it. but you'll still get some squeeze out from underneath the clamps and stuff like that. So I just end up using a paint scraper, and that works really well, but you can't just like gently do it. The trick is that you gotta like lean into it, and you gotta use about 90% of your left butt cheek, not 89, not 91, 90. You know, there's a big difference, and you'll see why. Pull back kind of hard, and you just get like, you'll scrape off all the paint right here. And sometimes it'll knock off the high spots too on the wood, so that helps too. Yeah, look at that, that's pretty good. So that's the trick. Finished scraping off the glue. I just did it on one side because I'm just gonna send it through the planer to flatten it off. And since this is the top portion of the board, I'd rather plane off more on the top than the bottom because these are the diamonds right here. However, they're still not completely flat. There's a little bit of rock, and that's okay. What I'm gonna do is, I have this board here that is just double melamine, and this is my planer sled. Basically what I'm gonna do is put it on here, find the rock, shim it, hot glue the shims in place, then send it through my planer. Or once that's flat, then I can take it off the sled, flip it over, then run through the planer again.
I'm not gonna lie, but this is one of my favorite parts, seeing the diamonds come together for the first time. And while I'm gluing up, shortly after I filmed this video, my baby girl 1010 was born. Whoa, excuse me. At the time of editing this YouTube video, 1010 is now 6 months old. And we're finally getting out of zombie state, and we're starting to feel a little more human again. But it was so worth it. I was actually working on a huge batch of boards. These are all my top sellers, and believe it or not, they were all originally designed from scraps. But today, I'm only showing you the diamond ones. Here I'm cleaning up one side with my track saw before taking them to my table saw to clean up the other side. Oh, and remember I was batching boards? I was making resin boards as well, and they were all made from scraps of olive wood.
Okay, so I should help this. So I'm gonna start this over, take two. Okay, so I ended up finishing these boards 220 with my Rotex. And I learned from my friend Chris Devo, you can find him on Instagram and YouTube. He told me that I can actually sand with the aggressive mode the whole time, all the way up to 220. I had no idea. I only ended up using the aggressive mode on end grain when I took off the grooves from the drum sander on with 60 or 80 grit. I had no idea. So I screwed up a board, and so I did a test run with it, and who knew? You get really good finish with just this alone on the aggressive mode. But yeah, so 80 grit, 120, 180, 220. Then I switched it to the wimpier mode and did a light pass 220. Then I ended up burning my logo. Then I'm gonna take my finish sander with 220, and I'm gonna do a light pass, but also remove the burn marks from my laser engraving. Then I'm gonna water pop it to raise the grain, then come back tomorrow since it's pretty late right now, and do a light pass 320. Then these boards are ready for oiling. Later.
trying to be those bad guys, smoking cigarettes behind the school. Always trying to be cool, trying to be those bad guys, you know. I still think about what we hide.
And if you don't fancy a tub of oil, a good old-fashioned rub-down works pretty well too.
As long as we had each other, everything was black and white.
So here are the different variations of my diamond board. Give these boards a try. You can mix and match whatever wood your heart desires. You can add more rows of diamonds. You can make them bigger, smaller, do whatever, you know? And how do you say, go wild. And if you're looking for more details on how to make these boards, I have some plans down below, and it's my first build plan. So if you wish to take a gander, thank you so much. And please let me know if there are any corrections or improvements you would like me to make. And if you're looking for more fun things I built, you can look here.